Hello, welcome everyone to World of Warships Legends. I am your host, Phoenix61. We are playing the Vladivostok. I'm not sure, yeah, I'm probably saying it wrong, but that's as good as I can probably do, right? That's pretty decent for me, huh? But yes, we are rocking this. I don't play the Soviet ships too much, so this should be a good time. This one's, they're a little bit of a little different, a little challenging. You know, I don't know what you want to call it. But yeah, I don't have as much success with some of the Soviet battleships, and it's probably me. It's probably I don't have a lot of practice with them, but take a decent shot at this mine CE, and then it looks like he started moving forward as we pulled the trigger. So of course those shells are gonna fall way behind him. And then I'm like, ooh, a smoke screen, but we're not. It's an Italian rolling smoke screen. We're not quite able to stay in it as it disappears here. And then those bullets look like they could have been worse than they were. But I'm trying to eye up the, you typically when you're in a battleship, you're like, ooh, broadside, cruiser, I want to shoot him, right? And then, of course, I think the smoke here is now preventing us from seeing the North Carolina, so we took somewhat of a little bit of a blind shot. We still had a couple bullets connect there. 4,000 damage. That's how it's done, right? Yeah. Only one destroyer on in the game per team, right? So that's always nice to see when you're a battleship, right? Helena, can we get a decent shot? Can we get a kill on somebody? Ooh, somebody else hit him. Come on, baby. Just need something to connect. They're falling on both sides of his ship. You gotta be kidding me. Oh my gosh. The struggle is real. This is why we don't play with this ship very much. So if you're I think I have a good kill. Oh, it might be the Poltava or whatever, the tier 6 one. But we that one, it's like the same sort of setup, right? You got two turrets in the front, one in the back, the classic shocker treatment battleship, right? But I do have my devastating strike compilation that's out there. If you can't find it, it's in the community section, because I did an actual post with it. YouTube has their social media post. But we do have a good kill in that one where there's a cruiser that's just sailing broadside right in the beginning of the game, and goes dark. We lose sight of it, but we take the shot anyway, and we get a devastating strike on him. But then so now I'm like, oh, let's play with these ships, and of course now we're not having that kind of luck. That was a once in a lifetime kill. But we'll continue to pick on this North Carolina as we see fit here. We are up to 19,000 damage, so we're getting a little bit of something here. And then yeah, we're not gonna fire. That's the rear turret. It's definitely not gonna make it around the corner there. We'll continue to press forward. We do have the destroyer on this side of the map with us. But you can see that we've got island, land between us and him. So I'm not worried about torpedoes as of yet. And then we are down a ship, so we're technically losing at the moment. But have no fear. I am here. I'm the best player in this game. It's so not true. But since we're doing good on this side of the map, and we've got the enemy in retreat, towards their base, right? I'm never a fan of chasing down enemies when they're moving away from objectives, right? Because you're kind of taking yourself out of the fight, and wasting your time, right? But here it's if we're gonna be able to progress towards their base, since it's a capture the base game, we'll play the game, right? We'll head that direction, right? So we get a good hit on the North Carolina. Finish him off to tie up the score. And then of course, yes, if I was that destroyer, I would be hunting me down, myself. I would be hunting this battleship down. That's, but we're still not spotted, so he's not even, coming around the corner here from the island. And then we get spotted here because we're firing our guns, so it's probably the Nelson. So now it's tough to tell. It's tough to get a read on where that destroyer may have gone at this point. Versus if we weren't spotted and then suddenly we were, we would kind of figure it was the destroyer. But so we'll just straight up head away from him. I'm gonna take a guess that he probably moved closer to us, but stayed, out of sight, out of that, behind that island. So we're basically moving directly away from the island and still not getting spotted, without shooting our guns. So he must still be back there and must not have a torpedo angle on us, right? And then we pick him up as he comes around the corner, so our assumption was right. He is the, I'm looking at the map, he's the only destroyer on their team. He's even in range of our secondaries, right? So I'm going to go full throttle, turn hard, left turn into him, see if we can't do some damage with our main turrets as well here. And then if he stays spotted, if he stays in range, we'll switch to HE shells, just because they're typically you're gonna do a little bit better with HE against a destroyer. But we maintain our turn, right? So which he probably didn't suspect that we would do. So that's why these torpedoes are all falling short, right? Going behind us. And then we'll chase him down here. But he's probably gonna go unspotted. Oh, if he's gonna fire his guns, he's not gonna go unspotted. I was just about to say he could probably, potentially get away from us and then head. What I would do if I was him, I would head towards our base, right? I would head towards the enemy base. And see if you can sneak in there and grab the capture, right? And then if I was chasing, you would dump torpedoes behind you at the battleship chasing you, right? So we'll use our damage con. With the Soviet battleships, you do, most of them, I think you get a limited number of damage cons, so that's kind of one of the downsides of the tier. And then so you can see he went unspotted, and then he fires his guns. So he's within that, not the, his regular spotting range. He was outside of that, and then fired his guns. Which is going to get you spotted again, right? So that gives us another chance, and that's his mistake there. I'm not quite sure, why you would do that, unless you just kind of like, screw it, let's fight, It is hard, sometimes I fall for it too, where I'm like, must pull trigger, like, must fire guns, right? And then we're making sure we're not maintaining a steady course in any one direction, right? So, and then you can see, torpedoes have gone way off to the side of us, and then we successfully get the kill on him. But yeah, so I kind of took that chance to chase him down, but obviously, like, if he would have, stayed unspotted, we would have been forced to either head towards our base, because that's kind of like, that's what I would have done, is try to go for that capture, right? Or try and, head towards other enemy ships to get ourselves back in the fight, right? But I think that their team might have had a chance here if they would have, if he would have just gone dark, do as the destroyers do, and remain unspotted and go and try and sneak capture that base, right? Because now we got the enemy team where we want them, right? So 2 ships left, they're up by their base, and it's 4-on-2, right? So we should have this one in the bag. We'll of course. Head towards their base, head towards the enemy, and see if we can participate anymore. But I wanted to put this game out there just because that was kind of a moment of how to play as a destroyer, right? Because from my perspective as a battleship, he could have gone, like, he should have had the advantage, right? He should have been able to go undetected and then just kind of hunt me with torpedoes. I know some of those French ships, I think that's what he was in. It was, they don't always have the greatest torpedoes, greatest reload, greatest range on those types of things. So that may have played a part in his decision-making logic there. And then I don't think they have smokescreen either, right? So you're down those sort of disadvantages from what a normal destroyer might have, right? But we'll see if we can get... So I see the smoke coming out of his smokestack, so I assumed he was going to press forward there. So that's why I aimed way far forward. Excuse me. And of course we were correct, but the accuracy, inaccuracy of these guns strikes again. RNG, whatever you want to call it, right? So... I'm always frustrated when I, take those guesses and then it doesn't work out, right? Like, if I guess wrong, then, and, if I would have shot right at him and he went forward, I'm like, okay, that's my own fault, right? But, when I make the right call and don't even get a bullet, to hit, I'm like, come on, give me something. But regardless, both the enemies are, damn near dead now. So there goes the cruiser. Nelson's the only one left, and probably everyone is in range to be able to shoot him, right? So he is not going to last long. We'll, of course, see where we end up on the leaderboard once the game ends here. And then, yeah, we're still firing HE shells. Just because I was like in between the like points of like, all right, do I really want to switch? Because it's, you know, it's almost over, right? Like I'd rather just get the quick hit, right? But yeah, especially against that cruiser, it probably would have been nicer to shoot AP alongside this one. This was, of course, during the holiday season, so we're getting a +5 ship XP when we had this game. And then, of course, we're not always the best player, you guys. Here's one where we're 4th, right? You just don't see the boring games or the ones where I really screwed up. That's what's really happening here. So we just play a lot. But yes, this is not the snowman. You can see up in the top right, this is Lev Galler, I'm sure. Yeah, and then the snowman is the commander geist, right? So they do have the perk that HE shells do more damage, you know. So maybe, I don't know, maybe I should be doing HE builds with my Soviet ships. You guys, let me know. Let me know if I'm doing it wrong, because sometimes I take your guys' advice. I do heed the comments section when they're constructive and not when you guys aren't mean to me. I tend to listen better. But this is how we built the commander out. So battleship, main gun, AP shell damage, right? And then I do like this perk, this volunteer perk, because it does give you extra damage control parties, which is huge for a Soviet battleship that has a limited number of damage control parties, right? So like, if you don't have that, you know, if you don't have that limitation, this is kind of a useless, you know, perk. But since we do have that limitation with these Soviet battleships, we go with that one. This one only gives you one more, right? So there's a little bit of a con, which is, you know, the one has, you know, it lasts shorter time, right? But main battery range, you know me, I am a fan of range and accuracy, right? And we'll spend a little bit to get our commander up a little bit more, right? And then we do actually have the appropriate amount of personal commendations for this particular commander to not spend our universal ones, right? So we'll up them a little bit more even. And then I think is this either, what paint job is this? Oh yeah, it's like a Black Friday one or something. Oh yeah, and we're still working on upgrades here too, so that is also part of our prep. That's why we got 4th, you guys. Otherwise it would have been 1st place easy, right? Anyway, yeah, so that is another thing that I do is I don't spend a lot of my global XP to progress through ship upgrades. I'm stubborn like that. I like to save it for buying ships. So we do the normal grind, you know, so to unlock ships and modules and stuff. But thank you guys for watching the video all the way through here. Please do subscribe to the channel. I have World of Warships videos out pretty much every day, so that way you don't miss the next cool one that we have, because they're all cool, right? And then, of course, if you liked my video, it's appropriate to push the like button as well. But thanks again, and see you tomorrow.